Hello, and thank you for joining me today on my talk about present values. We'll be going over the three main reasons your money will be worth less in the future, as well as the variables that impact present value. In order to bring it all together, we'll finish off with an example that includes coupon bonds. The amount of money you gain in the future, once an investment reaches its maturity date, is actually worth today, is known as present value and can be found using the future value of the year in question divided by the interest rate plus 1 to the exponent of that year. When this is considering farther than 1 year, the sum of each year is taken to determine the present value. And there are three main reasons your money has a present value that is less than the future value. First, there's the opportunity cost, which refers to how people like to spend money today instead of having to wait. I mean, I'd rather have a nice coffee now instead of waiting until tomorrow. It's a simple example. Then there's the ever looming inflation rate, which is unrelenting and in the long term, constantly increasing. Therefore, you cannot run from the fact your money simply just won't carry the same value in 10 years or more. And finally, default risk and the idea that you may never actually see the promised money of your investment. Each of these reasons contributes to how people value today's money just a little bit more than tomorrow's. And then there's also a few variables that influence the severity of this difference, beginning with the amount of the actual payment. As the payment increases, the present value decreases and vice versa. For example, if you have a $1,000 bond in 3 years at 4%, you receive capital gain of $27. Whereas if you have the same time and interest, except a $2,000 bond, you actually have a capital loss of $84. Then there's the distance into the future the payments received, with sooner being better, resulting in a higher present value than longer terms. That ties back to inflation and things are just better now than later. Moving on, there is the nominal interest rate, which has inverse relationship causing the present value to decrease as interest increases. Finally, there are coupon bonds and dividends, with coupon bonds representing constantly priced payments that are received yearly on top of the face value received at maturity. And dividends are instead payments received by investors from firms when buying stocks. Now, let's look more closely at the idea of coupon bonds. Here we see the equation showing how you sum the term years with the coupon value C, and then add the final face value term over the interest plus 1 to the exponent of the total years. This may seem a bit confusing, so how about we break it down with some numbers? Suppose you have a 3-year coupon bond that pays an annual coupon of $50 with a face value of $2,000, as well as a 3% nominal interest rate. What will the present value or price value of the bond be? As you can see, the filled out equation has the $50 coupon value in the numerator of the terms representing each year, with the denominator of the nominal interest rate plus 1 to the exponent of that year, ending off with adding the face value divided by the interest rate plus 1 to the exponent of the final year, in this case, 3. The result is $1,971.75. But what if we increase or decrease the nominal interest rate? Now, suppose we change the nominal interest rate to 2% instead of 3. After filling in the equation, we find the present value of the bond to be $2,028.84, which is higher than 3% value. But what if nominal interest rate had increased instead? So suppose we had instead changed it to 4%. As you can see here, working through that same equation instead gives us a $1,916.74, which is a decrease from the present value at 3%. As you can see from the previous examples, when nominal interest rate was decreased to 2%, there was a capital gain. And sadly, when nominal interest was increased to 4%, instead, there was a capital loss where the asset was now considered at a decreased price. These examples show the strong inverse relationship between the present day price or value of an asset related to the nominal interest rate. As interest rate goes up, value goes down. Thank you for joining me on my talk about present value. Here's where I got my information from. Stay safe, everybody.